All right, guys. Hey, welcome to the live well this Tuesday night. Appreciate you guys stopping by and chatting with us for a while. I hope everybody is thawing out or you're inside safe and warm. It's been a hell of a weekend for the weather and all that, but it's good to be back. Good to see you guys. We got an absolutely fantastic show in store for tonight. We got one Mr. John Cox of the NPFL. Looking forward to talking to him not only about fishing and about the tournaments and everything, but about his story. He's got an absolutely fantastic story that I think you're going to want to hear. And I know I've been kind of studying on it today. It's just one of those. That's it. So want to say hello to everybody. Got Clint up there, Mr.
How's it
Tony's
going?
there, and of course down there in the bottom corner we got the one and only Mr. John Cox. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Doing good. How are you guys?
We're doing fantastic. Now, listen, don't get tight on me because we were telling funny jokes and stories right before we went live. I always tell everybody I wish they could see the before and the after the show and
Right.
everything. That's the best time and all that. But we appreciate you stopping by. Let me take care of one little bit of business, guys. Hey, listen, Thursday night, if you are a member of the channel, okay, we're going to be giving away the K rig. All right, we got one of these K rigs, and that's for the members of the channel. We'll be doing our drawing, and so if you're not a member of the channel, a supporting member, maybe you can think about becoming one, and you'll get entered into the drawing and all that. Especially if you're into the big swim bait game, that is a perfect one for you. So, Clint and Tony, do we have any announcements that I'm missing or anything like that? Or are we good to rock and roll into this thing?
I think we're good. I know we got a Fishers of Hope tournament coming up in April, but I don't think he's released the information on that yet.
I don't think he has either. So, Tony brought Mr. John onto the show with that. So, Tony, you know what? I'm going to let you start the interview off since
That'll
this is
work.
one of your
That'll
buddies,
work.
and you get us going. And while you're doing that, I'm going to try to find us on TikTok so I can answer questions there.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So, John, we appreciate you stopping by. It's one of those ones where I wanted to get you on because you got an awesome story. So we'll just start right there. Kind of give us a little bit of backstory about your fishing career, if you don't mind, and lead us up into where we are at current day.
All right. Well, I was fishing this veterans tournament, and I happened to draw a guy out that was named Tony Collum. So that's why
Gosh,
I'm here.
bless your heart.
No, I started tournament fishing. My neighbor, when I got out of the Marine Corps, bought my first house, was having babies. I had a boat, but it was like it was a center console uh, for saltwater fishing. And my neighbor was from Dothan, Alabama, and had just moved to the area and was fishing a club and asked me if I had ever been to West Point. Well, I'd been to West Point, since I was a kid, going my whole life fishing, crappie fishing, bass fishing, whatever. And he asked me if I wanted to be his co-angler in a tournament. And this was probably 1997. And I started fishing with him. I actually won the first tournament I ever fished as a co-angler. Um, and well, let me back up. So I brought my five best Walmart combos.
Hey,
Uh, yeah, it was
hey,
loaded. I mean, smiling from ear to ear, sat in that co-angler seat with my five best Walmart combos. And he had one of those Velcro strap on the co-angler side that we all know now was worthless. So we took out blast off. It was my first time ever in a bass boat, and for a blast off, and he hit the first wave, and four of the five Walmart combos bounced right out of the boat.
oh no.
So I fished the entire day with a Carolina rig Zoom Lizard Green Pumpkin and won the tournament. So
There you
I
go.
was hooked after that. I thought you just went out and won them all. So obviously it didn't work out like that.
And that was probably the heyday of West Point too.
Yeah, yeah. It
Yeah.
actually wasn't on West Point. It was on Lake Harding
Okay,
down below
Hardy.
West Point. So, but that was my first tournament. I was hooked after that. Started buying bass boats, and of course, I've had a dozen or more now since then, and it just became my passion. I'd been fishing all my life, but I'd never been tournament fishing
Right.
until then. And then I fished locally, and then moved up to regionally, and then was approached by one of the owners of the NPFL when they started back in 2019 or 2020. I might have been notified in 2019, and then they started in 2020 um, to try my hand there at the national level. So I did, and I loved every minute of it. fished it for 3 years, and then we had to take a step back to start getting tested for a kidney transplant to try to get on the donor list. So that took a year of testing, and then a year in kidney failure waiting for a transplant. So
yeah, and
I'm back.
that was awesome to see how that worked out, because that's one of those things. It's like, it put you in kind of a situation. You were right there at the last. I mean, I won't tell your story, but you were right there at the mark. You had to have it.
Oh yeah, and you can't start testing for a transplant until you're stage 5. So you don't get to stage 5. Well, actually, I take that back. You can start in stage 4, but you have to be at a GFR of around 20. So once I hit 20, my nephrologist greenlit me to go to the next step, and that's go to a transplant center and apply to get on the list.
Right.
And talk about the application process. It was dozens and dozens of trips to Emory Transplant in Atlanta. And Tony, you can verify this, but the testing to get on a transplant list is 10 times more than I had to do to join the military.
Yeah.
So the Marine Corps doesn't have as much test. I had to see psychiatrists, I had to see dentists, I had to get cleared by eye doctors, heart doctors, stomach doctors. I had to have my first what's the thing in the rear end?
Colonoscopy.
Yeah, I had to have my first colonoscopy. You had to have and by the way, so the anti-rejection meds, one of the major side effects is brain fog. So I have a memory like a menopausal woman right now. So it's just it's my brain goes in and out sometimes.
So I got a question. When did the NPFL, since you're coming back this year, did the NPFL have any kind of waivers or anything they made you go through since you did? I mean, that's a pretty big deal. I mean, having a transplant, did they have anything?
Oh, no, I wouldn't come back if I wasn't 100%.
That's good.
I mean, really the only side effects I have is brain fog, and I have some tremors in my hands from the meds. So, I mean, if anything, that should help me shaking my worm.
There you go.
I hope nothing breaks off, because it's hell to tie a knot with your hands shaking.
I got to ask, first of all, thank you for your service.
Yeah,
I know you were United States Marine, so my dad was, but thank you very much for that. We'll talk about the kidney stuff and all that, but this is for me. What does a colonoscopy have to do? With a kidney?
What does a social worker have to do with it? I mean, I got asked how many times I fall a day, 25 times. I got asked if I felt safe at home 20 times. I mean, I'm the one that protects the house, and they were concerned if I felt safe. It's crazy the amount of testing and questions and evaluations you have to go through. But basically, they don't want to waste a kidney or any other transplant part on somebody if they're going to die of cancer next month after the transplant. So it's all about efficiency, I would imagine.
How did you told me this, but I want you to tell everybody, how did you find out that you had that? What was the indicators, or the situation?
In 2015, I was a boat captain for my daughter Taylor, and she was fishing a 2-day state championship at Seminole, and it was in June or July, but it was like 100 degrees that day. So as a boat captain, I'm just sitting there, and of course, when you're sitting there, you're not really exerting yourself, so it's easy not to drink. So I got dehydrated, and nothing really happened. But after being dehydrated for a couple of days out in the July heat at Lake Seminole, I came home, and every time I took a breath, I just had a sharp stabbing pain in my back. And I asked, the doctors on Facebook, and everybody said kidney stones and go to the emergency room. So I went to the emergency room, and the little female doctor on staff that day at the local emergency room, after taking a x-ray or a CAT scan, she came back and she said, "I've got some good news and some bad news." Okay, this isn't what I was expecting. She said, "The good news is you don't have a kidney stone. The bad news is you have PKD." And of course, my eyes got biggest dollar coins, and I said, "Well, what's PKD?" And she said, "It's polycystic kidney disease, and it's terminal." And she literally handed me a stack of papers and says, I don't know too much about it, but I've sent you a referral to a nephrologist. I'd never even heard the word nephrologist, but that's a kidney specialist. And she said, here, you can read about these while you wait for your appointment. So I literally had to wait like 2 weeks before I got the appointment. But of course, I'm Googling everything and reading everything, and I'm in bed for a week on some heavy narcotics and a heating pad. I mean, I couldn't even walk. It hurt so bad. And the scary part was that 15% of patients suffering from PKD live with constant pain for the rest of their life. And luckily, that wasn't my case. Once what happened was a cyst that was on my kidney had burst, and that's what was causing my pain. And your dehydration and blood pressure leads to the cyst bursting. So, of course, for the next 10 or so years while I was in kidney decline, I never let that happen again. I stayed well hydrated and constant check on my blood pressure.
That's awesome.
I didn't know what PKD was. And for those of you that don't know, I kind of wrote it down. I had to Google it or AI it. And so you correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what it told me. It's a genetic inherited disorder causing numerous filled cysts to grow on the kidneys, enlarging them and often leading to chronic kidney disease or failure. And it affects over 600,000 people in the United States alone.
Wow.
And the kicker is, they say it's genetic, but no one in my family has ever been diagnosed with it.
So I did see that it was like 5 to 10% do not have the genetic markers that cause it. So I guess you were one of those.
Now, see, I've never heard that, but both my children got tested to be my donor, and they both have it.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's now. Let me ask you this: is that something where, you can? Is that one of these that you can have it and it never get to that stage where it's really, really bad, or it's eventually it's going to? Okay.
Yeah. Basically, I watched my numbers decline. I went from stage 5 to stage 4 to stage 3 to stage 2. I mean, there's really nothing they can do for it.
Okay, so, until you have to get a transplant.
Right.
All right, which let's go ahead, and I want to cover this because that brings you to one of your sponsors.
Yes.
Right, and that is In the Wait. And of course, I looked it up and I told Tony about it, but let's let you in your own words tell everybody what In the Wait is.
So I never had heard of them. I didn't even know they were here local. But come to find out, it was after I got my transplant that I start hearing about them. And now I'm going to forget his name because of Tony, do you know his name?
I don't remember right off.
I can't even look it up. I hate that. That's that brain fog.
That's all right.
But he's local. He started this organization. Turns out he had given a kidney to a parishioner in his church. He is a pastor at Old Camp Woods Church here in Carrollton. And I've known him for years through the construction industry. And
is it Randy? Randy Simpkins?
Yes, Randy Simpkins.
There you go. Absolutely.
So I used to do utility contracting, and we did some projects together with his utility company, heavy equipment company. But Randy's just a great guy, and when I found out about this organization, I wanted to help. If you've done any kind of study, and there's literally hundreds of thousands of people waiting on a transplant or waiting on a donor. Mm-hmm. And you can get a living donor, you can get a deceased donor, you can get a diseased donor. There's amazing things they can do with it. But and what was exciting to me to find out was you don't even have to have a match. Say if Tony wanted to come donate his kidney to me, it doesn't matter if he matches me. They have a kidney pair program. So they pair his kidney with someone somewhere else in the country that has a donor for them, and I get that kidney, and Tony gives his kidney to that person. So it goes into a computer, and they match it with somebody somewhere around the country, and they do the surgeries the same day, because there is no, they're not going to take Tony's kidney and then I may or may not get mine. They absolutely do them the same day, where it all works out. So it's great to draw more donors to the table.
Yeah, I said so. I'm looking on their website currently right now, and it says there's over 100,000 people currently waiting for a kidney transplant. And I didn't know there was that many, to be honest with you.
They're actually filming a movie. They might have already finished filming. They were filming it a few weeks ago with Dean Cain starring in it. But it's all about his story where he donated his kidney to a stranger.
Right.
Wow.
So
Cool.
in the I've already put the link to End the Wait in the description on this. So after the show, you guys can go check it out because you can help support them.
Oh yeah. I'm all about just spreading awareness this year. Anytime I get in front of a microphone, my boat's going to be wrapped with a big green heart on it for kidney awareness. My jersey. It's just a great cause. And a lot of people don't realize, you can live comfortably and perfectly fine with one kidney. And they're not going to let you donate your kidney if there's any chance that you're going to need a kidney. Right. Now, obviously, if you get in a bad car wreck and, a piece of metal gets stabbed through your kidney, they can't control that. But for the most part, I had several people test to be donors before my donor was finally approved. And they were, high cholesterol, just any kind of blood work that doesn't come back perfect, you're automatically excluded from being a donor. So guess who my donor was? Tony, you probably already know.
I already know.
So my donor was my ex-wife.
That's great.
There are more than many reasons to have an amicable divorce. I'll tell you that. So husbands, wives, you need to work it out.
That was after a ton of people went and was tested, I think, right? You had a bunch of people go get tested.
So on TikTok, Brett Turney Bass, I think that's what it says. Our friend Cindy Woodward donated a kidney to one of her neighbors. Incredible. I think that is absolutely fantastic. I can tell you right now, my ex ain't giving me hers though. So that's just crazy.
You should have been better to her. Hey, I was a good ex-husband.
This 30-something years ago. But yeah, you guys go on End the Wait's website and check it out. 100,000 people need a kidney transplant. 3,000 new patients are added to the waiting list each month. And unfortunately, this is what it says, 5,000 will die yearly waiting on that transplant, or I guess not getting a match or anything. So that's awesome.
And it doesn't cost anything. The transplant patient's insurance, my insurance paid for her everything. So she didn't have to come out of pocket at all. She missed, a couple of weeks of work, but that was about it.
Yeah. And so just before we get into the fishing talk and all that, let me just ask you, how do you feel now? I'm curious. This is for me.
I feel absolutely great.
There was a question.
Tremors and the brain fog. That's about it.
Tyler Shelnut wanted to know this. How long do you have to take the anti-rejection meds? Is it forever or for just a certain period of time?
It's forever.
It's forever. So you will be on a little cocktail to help with
that.
7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
There you go. Well, first of all, we're glad that you were able to find a kidney. And so again, I know the NPFL did a write-up on you when they were saying that you were having to leave and all that, and now you're coming back to fish the 2026 season. So that's to me, that's a comeback.
Right.
You ought to be comeback angler of the year. They ought to have that award. That nobody should be able to take that from you for sure. But I'm happy for you.
I was surprised he was coming back. I'll be honest, because it seemed rather quick in my head anyway, time-wise.
I was surprised. As good of a year they had last year with all the Elite Series and BPT guys coming back, I was actually surprised they stood to their word and let me back in. I was really nervous that there wouldn't, even though when I left that last tournament, it was actually at Lanier in 2023. They always said, you've got a spot here whenever you make it back. But, 2 years later, and they had huge successes last year.
Yeah.
So I was excited to be allowed to come back.
Them guys, Fuller and the gang over there, they're all right.
Oh yeah.
They're good people. They're good people.
Hey, and that Allen guy that says first time watching, that's Big Al Speed Shine.
Is he? Well, there
Yep.
you go. Thank
Yep.
you very much. Go ahead, Tony. Give him a shout out.
Hey, Big Al Speed Shine's best boat shine you can get. I'm telling you, it makes the slickest finish on your boat. So Alan's a good dude too. He's really good dude. So
Is it better than the mayonnaise trick?
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well,
Because I'm not touching the mayonnaise, so it ain't happening.
You get a hell of an oil slick coming off that
Yeah.
boat once you get in
No,
the water.
but that's the
Good
thing is you
for
don't get oil slick with it either. So
Yeah.
it's good stuff.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us. Now, we're going to talk some NPFL. We'll talk some other stuff. But do you have any social media while it's on my mind where somebody can follow you throughout the year?
So John Cox Fishing on Facebook, John _ Cox 1775 on Instagram, and John Cox Fishing on TikTok.
Okay, there you go. So you guys go give him a follow, and I'll go back and add all those to the description page once we're done. Now, Coleman, you know there are no selfish questions on this. The whole part of this show is to pick our guest brain. We want you guys to catch more fish. So can you answer this question for Coleman? I have a tournament on West Point next weekend. Any idea what's going on down there?
I do not. I have not been to West Point probably since June or July. I actually won the tournament down there in June or July that I fished, but obviously that doesn't help you when the water temp's 50 degrees.
Well, okay. What would you do if you were going?
If I was going with the water temp, they've got to be low 50s, if not high 40s after the last few days. I would be throwing a small crankbait, a small square bill, in red or yellow, or chartreuse yellow, bright yellow, depending on the water color, on rock and clay banks that get hit by the sun.
Okay, there you go. There's your tip there, Coleman. Jerry, our buddy, says NPFL keeping their word speaks highly of the organization. It does. Like I said, they're good people over there. They've always been really good.
Let me back up to the West Point tip. Now, I don't fish with forward-facing sonar, so if you have forward-facing sonar, obviously you can go out and find them deep. I don't do that, so I'm forced to use the shallow techniques.
But you took your, and that's where I was going to ask the question, because I don't think you didn't fish any of the tournaments when they went no forward-facing sonar. But I remember you saying you were taking it off your boat regardless, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. You got where you just didn't like it.
Well, the 2023 season, it never worked. I was having some wiring issues, and every time I would take it, Humminbird would send a new transducer. It would work at the shop, and then as soon as I put the boat in the water, it would stop working. It would say battery issues. I'd get a new battery. I mean, it was like phantom problems. I think I had gremlins in it. I don't know what the issue was, but finally I stopped trying to use it. So, and even when it was working, I never really enjoyed that kind of fishing. I just don't enjoy it.
Okay. Hey,
and at my age, I don't knock it, and I fully feel that I can compete against someone using it. The Marina South Trail this year, we averaged 25 boats per tournament. I won 4 out of the 8 and 2 second places. So, and all finishes were top 10s, and 1 angler of the year, and never had it on my boat. And I know several guys did have it. So it's,
you know what? Where the hell is cranking and yanking?
I know it, right?
When we have a guest that does not like forward-facing sonar. So, John, we got a fella from Louisiana that watches us, and his screen name's Cranking and Yanking, and he hates everything forward-facing sonar.
And see, I don't hate it. It's just not for me.
Yeah, well, he does.
I grew up right. See, I don't understand all the hate. I mean, if it's legal to use, let them use it. I mean, it just.
Let me step back on the hate. He really likes to rag the guy's ass that uses it. Let's just put it that way. So, in a nice way like that. But
we wouldn't get our daily dose of eye rolls in the comments.
That's all we get is eye rolls over there. So again, though, and he's not here for some reason. So, okay. So that being said, so I would assume you consider yourself a power angler.
Yes.
Okay, so if you were going to power fish some of these lakes coming up right now, I mean, what's the first thing you would start with? And you can use any lake you want.
Well, I'd try not to be fishing in January unless I was in Florida. So
I understand.
That would be my first step. just because it doesn't really set up for power fishing. Power fishing around here is, 1.0 square bill, a small square bill on rock banks and stuff like that, or dragging a jig, you know, 5 to 8 foot on points. But power fishing, my go-to baits, it's a frog if it's top water. If there's any grass, it's a swim jig. It's a chatterbait. It's a square bill, a spinner bait. Just heavy moving. I don't carry a net on my boat, so I'm wanting something I can boat flip something with, a jig, a shaky head, but it's a power shaky head. I don't really do the, my shaky heads are half ounce and up and on, 12-pound test and up. So it's for more summertime shaky head.
I was sitting there thinking, like, daggum, that's a big, heavy shaky head. You mentioned swim jig, and we get a guy on here every once in a while that always talks about the swim jig. But that's one of the types of that's one of the techniques I would say a lot of guys are the least familiar with when it comes to jigs.
I
give
like
me a tip.
I like to compare it to swim baits.
Okay.
Up until the last couple of years, I really didn't have confidence in a swim bait, so I didn't throw it. And I think a lot of it's confidence that people don't really care to learn it. But once you find a swim jig bite, you'll be addicted, just like swim baits. But the best part is they're way cheaper than swim baits.
Yes, they are. You do the old Alabama shake and all that stuff.
Sometimes I do the straight retrieve. It's kind of like a jerk bait. I change up the retrieve, but to me, it's like a 4-wheel drive chatterbait. You can throw it anywhere. You can throw it in a laydown, in a rock pile, skipping under docks. And, if it's muddy water and you've got it on 50-pound braid, you can break it out of brush piles. It's just so versatile. You can do anything with it.
So what swim jig do you go with?
2K deposit swim jig, 2K jigs. They're up in Michigan, but I've been using him. Dan is a good friend of mine, and I've been using his homemade jigs probably, I know, over 10 years now. But they use a living rubber, and I've actually done videos before. I know one video I had, I don't know if I shared it to TikTok. I don't know if TikTok was a thing back then. But if you put one of his jigs down in a aquarium of water, the flare on that living rubber compared to silicone rubber is just night and day.
Yeah. Do you how about a morning dawn? You ever throw that morning dawn color in a swim jig?
Nope, haven't done it yet.
I haven't either. Do you think that fellow you're talking about makes one though?
He'll make anything.
Well, there you go. So Silver Punk does you somebody to reach
2K
out.
jigs.
2K jigs right there. So
actually I know because he's up north, so he does a lot of smallmouth and musky baits and different. I can't even name all those fish up there, but so he's got a lot of bright colors. Because every time I see him posting them, I'm like, well, I can't even post about that. I can't share it. I can't talk about it. So I know nothing about all those funky colors.
Okay, I got you.
Smallmouth, but
yeah. Messick, I'll get to your question here in a second because our old buddy Robert Blesky, that knows Mr. John Cox fairly well right there. And again, 2026 schedule for the NPFL. I'm going to throw it out there real quick. They start off in March at the Harris Chain. Actually, they have their championship in February, but then their regular 2026 schedule. Harris Chain in March, Wright Patman in April, Lay Lake in May, Logan Martin in June, the St. Lawrence River in July, and then in September, Lake George, which is in New York as well. Rob wants to know, what's the one lake you're looking forward to on that schedule?
Well, considering we just talked about the swim jig, we've got 2 lakes on the Coosa River that are full of my favorite type of grass to throw a swim jig in. So I'm going to say Lay and Logan.
Okay, there you go. And this one's for me. Now, you mentioned coming back to the NPFL. It's a lot different now than when you left it.
Well, no, we had Patrick Walters and we had some hammers in there. So don't get me wrong.
No,
Kyle Welter was fishing that first in 2023.
Right.
And there were some others. There's a lot more of them now. It's a true gauntlet of Elite Series guys.
It is. So kind of in your mind, describe, okay, This is what I fished against in 23.
Mhm.
This is what I'm fishing against in 26 because it is a different field. So does your mindset change knowing the talent?
No.
You're just going to go kick their ass.
I mean, you always try to win, but I've always considered myself against the fish, not really against the other anglers.
Yeah.
Now, there is one angler I do want to beat every time I go out against him.
Who's that?
That's John Cox.
John Cox, the other John.
I love him to death.
Yep.
I don't know. I've never met anybody that doesn't like him. I mean, he's just
Right.
a fantastic dude. He's great, but my goal in life is to win a tournament against him and have all my followers reach out to him to congratulate him.
What
And he followed that. I've spent 15 years following the other John Cox, and every time he wins one, my phone blows up. And I want him to have to go through what I have to go through when he wins.
I understand it completely. What was that thing y'all got? You two did where it's like, I'm John Cox, and he goes, I'm John Cox. What was that for?
I was driving to Guntersville a few months ago and just thought of that. There was a trend on TikTok or Facebook where couples were doing it, and I thought it was hilarious. Do you know the trend I'm talking about?
I do.
It'd be like husband and wives,
Mm-hmm.
and he'd say, "Hey, I'm Phil. I mow the lawn," and then it'd flash to the wife, and she's sitting there drinking a martini, you know, and hey, I'm Tracy. And that's all she does is I'm Tracy.
I'm Tracy. Yeah.
So I thought
enjoyed
it'd be cool to go back and forth with John. And I mean, it's amazing to me how many people still to this day don't realize there's two of us. And, I mean, it's crazy. I've never fished out of an aluminum boat. He's never had a fiberglass boat. I mean, his own sponsors tag me sometimes. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, in their defense, you did get John Cox fishing pretty quick.
Well,
I mean, you had that.
Hey, but I changed the Instagram because that's the only one he actually uses. He's terrible with social media. He does not do too much social media, and he'll tell you he hates it.
I love it.
The best part was in 2022, after the first day, it was the first tournament. It was 2021. The first tournament at Lake Eufaula, he was fishing at Smith Lake, and I don't know what day of their tournament it was. It was probably the first day of their tournament, but both of us were in the top 10. We broke the internet that day.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was crazy the amount. I was up till I had to fish the next day, and I was up all night. I mean, it was crazy. It was, how can John Cox be on two lakes and be in top 10 on both lakes on the same day? And people just lost their minds.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing Slick wasn't out doing videos because we'd had some kind of conspiracy theory about it.
Scott Martin felt it was his duty to chime in the comments. And yeah. Needless to say, I no longer care for Scott Martin.
Hey, listen.
Yeah, and I'm not alone.
Yeah. You do you, big dog. You do you.
But a lot of people came to my defense because I don't know if y'all remember the Jason Christie deal out west somewhere. Jason Christie, there was another Jason Christie fishing opens. He spelled his name with a Y, and Jason Christie, of course, is IE. And there was some bad stuff happening. I think that dude got arrested for like false advertising and was actually taking money from sponsors, selling himself as Jason Christie.
Oh,
yeah. So it was a big deal back in the day, but I've never done that. John, when he won the FL Forest Wood Cup, I actually got invited to be on radio shows and podcasts, and people were calling me and emailing me. And
you should have done the radio shows because that way they couldn't see you.
That's what everybody said. And I mean, it was crazy. But I mean, that's the thing. I'm not going to take anything away from him. I actually, when people do reach out to me looking for him, you know, I forward that to him. So it's crazy.
Yeah, but you could have got on that radio station and really talked some smack about people and totally got away with it. They would have known what was going on.
Right.
All right.
Man.
Let's jump back on let's jump back on the questions right here. When do you how about this? Let's see. When do you swim jig over a spinnerbait? When do you choose a swim jig over a spinnerbait?
Pretty much always.
Oh, so you don't so you're not a spinnerbait guy.
I mean, I am if it's open water, rock, clay banks, sunny days, windy days. I don't know. You kind of feel a spinnerbait bite. I don't throw a spinnerbait all the time, but I mean, just that West Point tournament was in the spring or early summer, and we had caught our fish at probably by 11 o'clock, and we had maybe 8 pounds. And I went to a place where I'd caught them on a spinnerbait in the past, and it was a clay bank, and it wasn't in the spring or summer. It was pre-spawn, because I was looking for, a clay bank they were pulling up on, and we had patterned them pretty good. So I went and hit that bank, and within an hour, my partner and I had called everything we had up to 14 and a half pounds on a spinnerbait.
Okay.
But if there's structure around, I've always got a swim jig on the top of my deck.
All right, well,
there you go. In the box, but
what about? Do you have a favorite trailer for a swim jig, and a color you throw the most?
I don't know if we can tell all that.
How about
give us your C trailer? What's the trailer you grab?
Back up.
Give us the next best color.
I mean, obviously the color depends on the color of the swim jig that you're throwing. But I'll tell you this, I really fell in love with a new bait last year. So it's probably 2 years new. And that's all I'm going to say. I still got to compete against guys around here. So
I understand. I get it.
Nobody out here's watching. Nobody out here's watching.
Yeah. What we'll do is we'll secretly, sneak that question back around here in about 45 minutes. We'll get it out of them right there. Dane says,
"Hey, no, you won't, because I honestly can't remember the name of it."
See, you got a built-in excuse, man.
Exactly. The brain fog is helping, because I usually talk too much.
That's what you're like, man. I had a kidney
That's
transplant.
crap that he let off with that.
Yeah. So
I probably got some over here on the table though, but
we'll figure it out.
Go look.
We'll get some
Zoom and crop later.
Zoom. That's exactly right. I'm good with having 2 John Cox. Thank God we only have 1 Danny Pruitt. 100% broke the mold with me, baby. Y'all don't need 2 of me, for sure. Rob wants to ask you another question. What's your favorite lake that you have ever fished? And I know that Saginaw is up there. What's your favorite lake you've ever fished?
Well, I just filled out the angler profile for the NPFL. They sent me the email earlier today, and I just filled it out right before we went live. So I put 4 lakes. Kissimmee Lake, Lake Weiss is about an hour north of me up here. It's on the Coosa River. I love all the Coosa River lakes, just because that's where I fell in love with throwing a swim jig. But Saginaw Bay, it's hard to beat that swim jig bite up there. It's insane, and Rob knows. I mean, it's magical. I've got posts where my whole this side was just black and blue after 5 days of fishing up there. It was just, I mean, a bruise like that, just from setting the hook on swim jig fish. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, I wish that was a bruise.
Fall sets up real good for me. I like the brush piles in the summer. I like the grass and the docks. So Eufaula is probably my number 1 lake. Lake Kissimmee in Florida. That's where I caught my biggest fish ever, and which is only a 9 pounder.
Hey, Clint, how many people have we had on this show that said Lake Weiss was in their top lakes?
0.
Yeah, that's what he said that. I'm sort of going, okay, so I'm getting ready to ask you a question.
All right.
Why? What is it about Lake Weiss that makes John Cox put it in his top 4 lakes?
It's just got everything. It's got the seawalls. It's got docks. And I don't really care for floating docks, so it's full of wooden docks. I like wooden post, wooden docks. It's got shallow water. It's got deep water. It's got timber. It's just got everything. It's got points. There's just not many lakes around here. They're usually all missing one, and it's an hour away. So,
yeah, I've never heard anybody say. Now, Ron Swinford likes to talk about Weiss because he fishes over there, but I've never heard anybody rank it.
And it's known for crappie, so you don't really get a lot of people traveling there. So it's relatively locals, local tournament trails. They don't ever fish big tournaments there, so you don't have the tourism. The tourists that do come to the lake are fishing for crappie.
Yeah.
How big are the crappie?
They're pretty big, from what I've been told. I don't fish crappie.
You know,
It
Like
used to be
1 to 2 pounders or 2 to 3 pounders.
it used to be known as the crappie capital of the world
Yeah.
as far as lakes go.
Yeah, I don't know what it's been doing lately. But
I don't know.
Interesting.
every time I go by, it's muddy as hell.
hey, nothing wrong with a little color.
That little
That's
color, hell,
probably what makes it a good crappie lake.
Yeah.
you can walk across it every time I've driven by. Like I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Which fall are you talking about? You talking about the one in Alabama? I
Yeah.
kind of figured that. But the NPFL likes to go out there to that one.
I
It's,
fished it.
it's Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And okay, so Messick, let me get her. I hate that mud puddle. See, I think this is what a lot of people say when it comes to Weiss. This is the more common comment we get, John, when somebody mentions Lake Weiss, which is why to me it was surprising when you said that. Now, Messick had a question earlier, and then he's got this one right here. So I'm gonna kind of combine them. What is your favorite lake in South Carolina? And then I believe he asked, how would you approach Lake Murray this time of year if you have fished Lake Murray?
Right. So I actually do have a favorite lake in South Carolina, but it's the only one I've ever fished in South Carolina, and that's the one down south. Santee Cooper. Oh, it's magical. I fished it twice. Once at an open. It was either an open or a Rayovac or a Costa. I think it was a Costa back in 2019. And if we hadn't lost today due to storms, I would have top 10'd it easy. But I found a little something the last day of practice that that place is amazing.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
How about, I know we've talked swim jig a lot. What rods do you like to use? And do you have a rod sponsor, a certain brand you like to use? And if so, what do you use on your swim jig?
I was sponsored by Cash and Fishing Rods. I mean, I still love Cash and Fishing Rods. I kind of dialed back on some of my sponsors. I just don't have the time for all the sponsor work. But they've got a swim jig rod.
I like a man that's got the props ready to go right there.
Yeah. Well, that's what I do in my spare time is rig rods. There's your big summertime shaky head right there, by the way. But it's the 7.4 medium heavy, and it's just the multi-purpose rod from the Icon multi-purpose rod,
right?
From Cash and Fishing Rods. It's my absolute favorite rod all time. Okay,
there you go. Clint, you've been awful quiet tonight.
I'm not trying to be.
Huh? Go ahead.
I enjoyed it.
You're not trying to be. You just listening.
Yeah.
How about this? A speed worm in the grass on Weiss. You ever throw that? Blakely said that. Oh, look what he's got.
There's your 2K deposit swim jig right there.
So,
what you got on the back of that thing?
That's just a rage crawl.
That's his like the 5th thing he puts on the back of his
right. So
jig.
that is like number 4.
He's like bed fishing with that swim jig. It just
that is not the new bait I was talking about. Tony, but it's a solid one. It's a solid one. Everybody knows that.
I got you. All right, Tony, what's on your mind right now?
I'm going to be a little bit selfish here. He fishes Wedowee. I fish Wedowee. What are you doing right now on Wedowee if you go? I know you don't want to go in January, but if you're going right now, what are you doing out there? Where are you headed? North, south? What are you throwing?
Well, this past weekend, that tournament got canceled. Last year, we fished it same weekend, and it was 18 degrees at blast off. I idled to the first point I found, and what I throw? Now, I only caught 2 fish. My partner never got a bite. I caught 2 fish and got 9th place. So the winner ran all the way from Fox Creek to Wedowee Creek in 18-degree weather. I was not doing that.
Yeah.
So
there's this time of the year, Wedowee gets blown out. We usually get a big rain.
I don't know what La Bamba is.
I don't know. La Bamba.
She's always talking about La Bamba. I don't know who Joe La Bamba is, but
Richie Valens. La Bamba, something like that.
Okay.
I don't know the Spanish words that go with it. I just know the beat.
But Tony, to answer your question, I really don't fish Wedowee except for during the spring or summer.
I got you.
I've never really done anything there in the winter.
I'll never forget about that pocket you told me about, and I won't say where it's at. Where you caught, what was it, 3 6-pounders in it or some crap during a tournament, something like that. I'll never forget that story. I think about it every time I go.
I told you where it was.
Yeah.
Who? So he didn't even know, Tony. You could have told us. And
I'm not going to tell the spot. I've only been over there once or twice to look at it, and I'm like, he caught 3 in here, but hey,
yeah, it doesn't look like much, does it?
No, it's nothing.
Yeah, I had nothing that day. I was just going fun fishing. Me and my dog. I'm lucky I even had the GoPro on, and that was 2 years ago. And yeah, it was, the first one was a 6, the second one was a 5, and the third one was a 8 something, 8.5. And it was just, I was just covering water with a chatterbait. I mean, I had nothing to go on. They were just there.
Yeah, you and I fished you had just gotten, not this boat, but the previous boat, when you were still breaking it in, and we went that direction. You're like, yep, that spot right there, I caught blah 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 blah, and I was like, holy crap. So I think about it every time I'm up that way.
Yeah, Messick, I agree with you too. Not only is John not telling us his favorite bait right there, but now we got Tony. We got a co-host ain't telling no spot. But I get it. Totally.
Hey.
But you know what was funny is he goes, I told you that. I told you about that. He's like,
actually, if I told you a spot during the tournament, that's a whole different creek. Now I know where you're talking about.
No, yeah, I'm talking about the other one.
Okay, that's not where I had 20 pounds and won a tournament.
No. I'm talking about the one where you had, like you said, 2 or 3 6-pounders.
Well, that's why I was shocked. I was telling you like recent information. Yeah, that's old. I told you.
No.
Like hell, Clint. I don't even know why we're here tonight.
Hey, you asked at the beginning what was off limits. Yeah. Coordinates are off limits. I'm telling
you.
Yeah.
Dots.
We can talk kidney transplants. We can talk ex-wives. We can talk illegitimate children. Whatever you want to talk about. We ain't talking about.
Listen, I still won't tell him what we did on Lanier, so I'm still holding that bag. So
he won't.
Yeah.
I have guys that act like they're my best friends until it comes to fishing.
But
there's no best friends in fishing.
I got a good friend just like that.
Hey,
it's okay. It's cool. If
I'm on somebody else's boat and it's their technique, I ain't telling nothing.
I don't blame you, and that's the way you should be, 100%. But I'm still gonna give you hell about it.
Hey, I understand.
So, for sure. Now,
Koikis, throw a koiki.
Throw a koiki. Have you messed with any of those?
The dice baits.
Any of the dice baits, anything like that, or?
No, that's
so
on our trick.
People are throwing it without scope lately.
Really?
Yeah, it's been kind of interesting since we're gatekeeping. I'm going to open the gate for once.
Open the gate. Let it go.
People are throwing it like a jerk bait.
Mm-hmm.
It looks gay to me. I can't throw
it.
And they're smashing them. But
I
get that. When you said dice bait, the look of disdain on his face, like almost like he's trying to hold a.
Looks like something you're pulling out of a pipe, right?
I've got to borrow spinning rods to go up north. We're going to New York twice this year, and I only own 2 spinning rods, so I'm not going to buy a bunch of spinning rods just to go up there and smallmouth fish.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, somebody mentioned the comment. I know we ain't seen Cranking Yanking. He might have got iced in and might be without power down there because they got hit pretty hard, for sure. Guys, here in a few minutes also, it's Clay Harden, right? It's Harden?
Yep.
I said that right? With Marina South, which is one of John's sponsors. He's going to come on too. So if you guys got boat questions, like boat maintenance or certain things going on too, we can incorporate that in the conversation. And hopefully, like hell, he'll tell us other than Tony and John. You know, they're not telling us shit tonight. I'm giving you guys a hard time.
He'll give you all his spots because there ain't no fish on his spot.
I get it. 100%.
The last time Clay told me a spot, he said Carolina rig, and I was like, okay, well, there goes my shot at anything.
Okay, let me ask you this, John. What is the one old school technique that if it was the only way you could fish for the rest of your life, what would it be?
As far as old school, it'd have to be a spinnerbait because chatterbait wasn't invented and swim bait wasn't, or swim jig wasn't. So
okay, now give me a new school. It's gonna be chatterbait, ain't it?
Chatterbait or a swim jig.
Chatterbait or a swim like that.
When is the time to throw a chatterbait and swim jig? Like right now, it's pretty freaking cold. Are you still throwing a chatterbait and a swim jig?
A couple of times. I mean, I'm going to try it in some prime locations, and if they don't bite it, obviously I'm going to work it different and slower and put the proper.
You go lighter with it.
Did you say lighter?
Yeah.
Yeah, lighter, slower, faster, jerk it, twitch it. I feel like that's one of the biggest things most anglers don't do is change up their speeds, and until you find a pattern or a retrieve, to me it's all, a lot of people go with 20 different colors in their boats. I generally have 3 colors. I have white, I have green, and I have black and blue. And they're going to bite one of those 3 colors anywhere in the country, depending on the time of year and the watercolor. And other than that, to me, it's about presentation.
What brand chatterbait? What brand chatterbait?
The only brand.
Brazala.
Brazala. Brazala. No, he's throwing the original, the Z-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I got you. But you know what I do like is we talk about that all the time. You're very basic. You pretty much so on your colors and everything.
Right.
And that is an interesting point that guys they're quick to tear off this color, throw another color on before they try to change their cadence. And I think that's with a damn underspin, a plastic worm, with every bait, a minnow, all that stuff. But that's actually a pretty good tip if you guys were paying attention to that. That's something you see a lot of guys do.
And before I started doing it, I was one of those guys that had to have that magical color that so-and-so said was working, that day for him. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And that doesn't mean the watercolor is going to be the same. The sun's not going to be the same. The cloud cover is not going to be the same. The time of day is not going to be. There's just so many variables. You can take one of them out by, if you're fishing West Point, use green pumpkin. If the water's 40 degrees and muddy, use black and blue. I mean, it's so basic. I think people try to overcomplicate stuff sometimes.
Do you do any modifications to your chatterbaits at all? Any kind of modifications that you change up?
Maybe.
Okay.
Hey, this isn't the other John Cox. I can't afford to be giving tips away. I'm not good enough to give stuff away.
Hey, 100%
for everything I figure out.
I'll say this just for anybody that's curious. If you look at any of my social media videos where I've held up a chatterbait, you'll see the thing that I do. It was another one of those things I'm not supposed to talk about. He gets on to me every time I post a video with a chatterbait. He goes, "Dadgummit, you show the darn thing every time you do a video." I'm like, well, I don't say it. I just show it. So
got to pay attention. It's all in the details.
What about trailers? Somebody in the questions asked, any trailers that you're willing to give up for the chatterbait?
We've already discussed that.
How about this? What about a style of trailer? Can you give us the style?
Yeah.
Swim bait.
Okay. There you go. Straight tail, paddle tail. We'll work it.
Straight tail. We'll play this game.
Okay.
Straight tail. That means paddle tail.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell it means.
I throw both. One of them's the number 1 choice, and one of them's the number 3 choice.
Okay. Right. Oh, that left the number 2 right there in the middle voice.
Crawl.
There you go.
No crawl. Well, just listen. We're just gonna have to work it tonight, guys. We're gonna have to work.
This time last year, I was on Wadowee jigging a chatterbait in 25 to 30 foot of water.
He said,
catching decent largemouth. Just throwing that out there.
So my first forward-facing sonar fish, the only bait I could see good enough on the bait to actually present it correctly because I didn't have my settings dialed in enough. This was back in 2020 or 2020, probably 2019 because it was early on. But the only bait I could see good enough was a 1/2 ounce chatterbait. And when I finally caught one, I thought, oh man, this is going to work everywhere. It don't. You got to go way smaller. And that's when I was done with forward-facing sonar.
I totally get. Have you seen the new Predator spinnerbait?
No.
Tony, Clint, have y'all finally seen? I saw a picture of it. Basically, what it is, it's a swim bait instead of the blade. So you got a swim bait on top, and then a spinnerbait on the bottom. And I mean, like they're trying to reinvent the wheel or something like that.
I got you.
If somebody approached you with something like that, would you even give it the time of day, John?
Not unless they showed me a scale with 25 pounds on it.
Okay, fair enough. What is the craziest thing somebody's approached you with over the course of your career to say, hey, try this? And you're kind of like, nah.
I don't know. For some reason, people don't think I'm an approachable guy.
You got a resting bitch face or something?
No, I mean, I'm kind of a big guy. I'm 6'2", 250. I mean, even like during COVID, that people were getting cussed out for not wearing a mask. Nobody ever said a word to me. I mean, I walked into Kroger, every week, and I was hearing people getting kicked out of stores and arrested or shouted at. Nobody ever said anything to me. I couldn't understand.
Carrollton's a little different. I didn't wear a mask either. They never said anything to me either.
Well, okay.
It's that Marine vibe, I think.
That's
guess
exactly what
the
I was
way you
getting ready to
carry
say.
yourself. But I mean, I'm sure I just don't listen to it. I'm not a tackle junkie. I'm pretty basic. I'm gonna drag it, or I'm gonna chunk and wind it, or I mean, my employee, he was actually my fishing partner last year for team tournaments. He was actually commenting, I've got all my tackle out of my truck to reorganize and stuff, get ready for the season. And I've probably got more deep diving crankbaits than he's ever seen in his life. And I can't even remember what year I threw my last deep diving crankbait. I don't get into a lot of techniques that I don't really care for.
Okay.
I'm going to try to find them dragging a worm, dragging a jig, throwing a moving bait, find some structure, find a dock. I just don't. There's too many to keep up with.
Yeah.
Don't throw away your deep plug-in box and come up to Lanier this summer.
And that's my son-in-law is a big deep cranker, and he was a 4-time Bass Nation Alabama high school state champ.
Awesome.
And he loves deep cranking, and he swears to me I've just never been on the right deep cranking bite. And that's the same thing with a swim jig or a swim bait. You got to get on the right bite to truly love a style of fishing.
Yeah,
that is true.
He said I have a box of big deep crankbaits. In my mind as a host, it's going, okay, now we're going to get into the crankbaits. We'll talk about that. And he goes, but I ain't throwed one in forever like that. I was like, well, good. That went down the drain.
I mean, I did that for years where, you go to Pickwick, you got to do this and find schools of fish. And, you reel in a damn big deep diving crankbait 20 times and you're like, oh, I want to go drag a jig. It kind of rests my arm a little bit. So.
100%. And that leads right into our next question.
I was just fixing to say. Yep.
Yeah. Go ahead and read it, Tony.
I was going to say, Coleman had a question. What are some tips for beginning jig fishermen?
I don't know who said it. I didn't come up with it, but I was told, or I read back in the day, the only way to gain confidence in throwing a jig is to have it the only rod in your boat.
Yep.
Go to the lake with nothing but a jig tied on and stick to it. Don't throw anything else, and you'll learn how to catch fish on a jig.
So Clint is notoriously he's very slow when it comes to that's what you say. You drag them very slow.
Okay, I was like, dang, Danny, all right.
No, you're not slow. The way you work your jig is slow.
Clint's notoriously slow. All right, yeah. I like to drag a jig like it's February, no matter what time of year it is.
Yes. Okay. That's the way I should have said it. Tony's a little more aggressive in his approach, even though you're still slow, right? Would you say so, Tony?
Yeah, I power fish a jig. I mean, yeah, I'm a little faster.
All right, Mr. John Cox, where do you fall in that? Are you very slow, methodical? Will you hop it every once in a while? What do you do when you throw a jig?
To me, obviously, I'm slow in the winter time and real particular with where I place it and how I move it. But summertime, I'm going to move it as fast as I can get away with it. If I'm getting bit, and the hop, like Tony said, you get a lot of bites. If you're not hopping it, Clint, you're missing out on a lot of bites.
All right, Clint.
Good to know.
Clint, give me your rebuttal on that. What's your rebuttal? Let's go. Let's start a debate right here.
I think the reason I drag it, if I feel like if I'm not making that bottom contact, then I'm not getting them to come pick it up. I don't know.
Well, when you pop it up off the bottom and it never hits the bottom again, just rear back, tighten up, and set the hook.
That's the thing. I feel like all the time that I've popped it, I've never gotten bit. That's probably just like you said, when you don't ever get bit doing it, it makes you not want to do it. But I feel like all the time when I try popping it, I've never.
That's probably the best lesson. The question was geared towards jig fishing, but it works for every technique. I mean, I can remember when Tony was learning his forward-facing sonar, and he stuck to it enough, and now it's all he knows how to do. So it's
Yeah, he's a scoper
right,
now. Tony's
Hey,
a scoper.
Hey, I use it. I ain't gonna lie, I use it.
If you ain't
See,
scoping,
when
you're
he
hoping.
fished with me, I mean, he was all about structure and the bank and skipping docks. And
I didn't have for it when I fished with. I may have just gotten it when I fished with you because I fished the first Wedowee Marine Tournament trail. I had just put it on the boat. It was brand new, so we fished in October, and I think we started that about the same time. So yeah, I had just gotten it.
You know, he has to go to the chiropractor now about once every 2 weeks because of his neck now, John. So I mean, that's the. No, I'm just giving you
Hey,
hell.
but listen, I'm looking forward because here in a couple of weeks, well, maybe about a month on Wedowee, you won't need it. You won't need it. And when they start bringing the water back up, you won't need forward facing sonar out there to catch a big bag.
I got you. Hey, Blakely, I believe is his name. He asked a question earlier too. Did you fish any clubs, John, in the '90s? And do you remember the Carrollton Bass Shop?
yes,
There you go.
It used to be called, wasn't there one called like Pro Bass up there on the hill?
yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
he might be talking about Boogie's place over on. That's probably too old for you to remember, but Boogie Johnston had a place at that little BP right at Lake Carroll.
Yeah.
That was a tackle store too.
Okay.
Boogie.
Yeah, that
I
was
like
definitely before my time.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, Mr. Cox, do you believe in scent?
In scent?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. We have
What
this debate all the time. Go ahead, Tony.
What makes you think the scent works? What reasoning do you have behind it? We have this debate. I use it. I mean,
Right.
I'm going to use it. So what gives you the reason to think it's going to work?
I've never been outfished by a co-angler that wasn't using it with us fishing the same stuff. I've fished partner trails, team trails. I've fished against co-anglers. I've been in the boat and I've seen it where, I mean, you can be partners fishing the same exact tree and the one with scent gets bit and the one doesn't. I mean, now I'm not always doing it, but if times get tough, I'm going to put it on there. I definitely don't do it enough because it's an extra step to go in the box and get it. But
you got a favorite brand of scents or a favorite scent itself?
Of course, my brain fog, but the jar that stains everything.
JJ's Magic.
Yeah, JJ's Magic.
JJ's Magic for sure. Kevin, of course, he's a bang guy. Father Time loves his bang for sure. Now, speaking of that, do you use scent on basically your bottom baits like your worms and your jigs, your swim jigs? Do you use it on anything else?
No.
Okay, see, yeah, that's all right. How about this one? Does he know how to stitch a jig?
No.
Now, I don't even know what the hell that means.
Making it, wrapping it.
I don't know. I ain't got a question. Hey,
I don't know either.
Patricia, kind of make your question a little more like dumb it down for us. So basically that.
I guarantee Dan Hatchie does. If he's watching, he can. He's the owner of 2K Jigs. He can chime in and tell her how to.
Okay. Well, it's a he. I'm about damn positive it's a he over the course of time, but he won't put his name on there. What's your go-to scent? And also, this is the second part because our viewers have to ask this question about every guest we get now. Do you believe in Bigfoot?
No, I do not believe in Bigfoot.
There you go.
Man.
And my favorite scent is pretty much anything that smells like lasagna or spaghetti. So garlic.
He likes garlic. Okay, we have that. Okay, too. What is it about garlic?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Apparently, fish love Italian food because it makes me hungry as hell every time I open it.
All right, guys, listen. The king is in the house.
He's in here.
Finally, a no scoping episode, and I missed it. Well, listen, the night is still young.
That's
and
right.
Cranking Yanking, that's what I said at the very beginning. I said the one time we get a guy that just does not use scope, doesn't like it, whatever, and your ass was not to be found. But again, too.
Hey, Clay's a scoper. He's coming on next.
Okay, yeah, so we can just piss Cranking and Yanking off. We get him all happy and everything. Now we're gonna piss him off
as soon as he gets here.
He's gonna rewind it. He's gonna rewind it just to watch.
We got a scoper like that. Cranking Yankee, just out of curiosity, how was the weather this past weekend down there? Did you guys get hit pretty hard down there where you're at? Just being honest. Let's see. Cranking Yankee, you need his poster for sure. Yeah, he'll be your fan for sure. All right, Clint. Young guy, scoper, mentoring, all this stuff. We got Mr. Cox here. Definitely what I would say, old school kind of feel and everything about him. Very simple. In your mind, because I know I like what he's saying, but in your mind, How do you kind of register what all he's saying?
I think the biggest thing is just having confidence in it. I mean, being able to have confidence, like we're seeing more and more with the use of technology that like fish are getting harder to catch. So like, how is that? Like, it makes me think about like having the confidence to go down the bank and fish for these fish that are still up there shallow, or when to like time it throughout the day. Because like I can go scope all day. Doesn't mean I'm going to catch them out offshore all day. Like there's certain points of the day to make that move up shallow to capitalize and get the best of both worlds between fishing offshore and fishing up shallow.
Let me ask you this, Clint. Do you enjoy going shallow and throwing at the bank?
100%.
Okay. Do you enjoy fishing the scope?
A lot.
Okay. I don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
So why in the hell would I pay my money to enter a tournament and then go do something I don't like doing?
That's fair.
To me, fishing, I grew up fishing because I enjoyed it. And if I don't enjoy it, I'm not going to do it. So
That's fair.
if I had to go do nothing but scope, I would quit fishing completely.
Because it feels like a job. I feel like at that point, like if you don't enjoy it, then
also you mentioned a great fact. There is a time to be out there scoping and a time to be on the bank. Mm-hmm. And if you can be Trey McKinney and know the differences and time that down, but that's like picking red or black on the roulette wheel. I mean,
it really is
trying to figure out when to leave one. And that was my problem with scoping, was everything was calling me everywhere else. So, I mean, I was miserable trying to watch that scope and having to ignore that beautiful dock over there, or that patch of grass over there, or that lay down over there. I just couldn't do it anymore. I did it for like a year and it just never worked out for me.
Cranking and Yankin's on the front row of the Sunday service right here tonight, baby. Like he is over there.
Hey, you know, the tournament fees are the entry fees we pay. I mean, that's obviously there's going to be anglers, you know, hey, if you're spending that kind of money, you want to take your best chance of winning. And that's a fact. But hey, now you have the NPFL where that's not even an option. So, of course, I mean, I was fishing the NPFL when it was an option, and I was getting beat by scope. There's no doubt about it. But I was, you know, holding my own in some tournaments without it. And I had fun every tournament without it. So,
right, for sure. Do you throw a buzz bait? Or I'm sorry, real quick. Yeah, Clay just want to know, do you throw buzz baits? And then somebody earlier asked if you threw a Chapo. So if you're throwing top water, do you go with a whopper plopper or a buzz bait style bait?
I throw both. Whichever one they're preferring. Obviously, if I can get away with a buzz bait, I'm going to throw it just because I'm going to be near some structure and it's less likely to get hung up or broke on a seawall.
Are you a braid or a fluoro guy when it comes to a buzz bait?
I'm a braid on all top water.
Okay, there you
go. Pretty heavy, 50, 40, 50, 60?
At least 50.
Okay, nice.
Okay, I like it. All right, how about this one? What are you laughing at there, Tony?
Well, Tony Watkins comment.
Here we go.
See? Let me pull that nut real quick. I bet Cranking and Yanking is double fisting popcorn right now. I bet he is too. He's loving it. I'm telling you.
Sorry, I caught that out of the side of my eye.
They're everywhere. Everywhere.
I hadn't seen it because it was scrolled down on mine, but I know something's good when you guys start laughing before I get on there to it.
Goodness.
Listen, I love it. Hey, this world, there's enough room for all of us. That's what I like to say. Mr. Cox, what's your take on the Elite Series tournaments? Do you think it will be one shallow or scoping? And let's just jump.
Let's just talk about gunners.
Well, he mentioned, because goodness, I forgot to specify Lake Martin.
Okay.
So Lake Martin, what do you think? Do you think it'd be scoping or do you think it'd be shallow bite?
When is it?
3 weeks from now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't fished Lake Martin since scope was a thing. It's a good cold weather tournament, I can tell you, or lake, I can tell you that. All the clubs around here, a lot of the clubs around here would fish that as their fall classic just because it's such a cold water lake. It's so clear, it's probably going to be, if it is clear, it's probably going to be a scoping thing.
Okay.
I did my best out there. One was big fish in a club tournament, was buzz bait, no scope. And then another time we did real well was literally skipping docks with shaky heads, catching pretty good sized spots. And scoping, you'd go out there and catch dinks. I mean, because it's the land of the dinks out there.
I got you.
Yeah,
Now,
that's true.
bottom line outdoors, I think I think we can go ahead and kind of answer this question ourselves. Is like he fishes one way and one way only. So like I don't know that it changes. He goes with the limit on forward facing sonar in tournaments. How does it change how you fish a tournament?
Right.
Now let's
You
kind of
might be thinking I'm the other John Cox fishing Elite Series.
yeah, no.
But,
But well let me ask you this though. If you know that you're on a lake, any given lake, and it's a really strong scoping lake, let's say like Lanier over here, you know, there's spotted bass out deep. The guys are really going to be, pounding them off the timber and everything, but you like to fish shallow. Um, what would you look for this time of year on a lake like that? Like, would you start off on points? Are you looking for, timber, like down trees, blowdowns and stuff? Docks, you mentioned docks a little bit earlier, like on Weiss and all that. What would be the first bit of structure that you would kind of like want to focus on?
cold water,
Mhm.
I mean, timber, vertical timber, a little deeper, swim baits, spin head, what do you call them? The underspins. I like an underspin in the late winter. Ditches, some stump rows in ditches is a great place. In your deeper ditches, channels going back to the shallow water because, as much as it's winter time, it's also pre-spawn time, and they're getting close to where they want to be.
Okay. Kid
Clay coming on.
Well, he's whenever he shows up.
He-
As soon as he shows up,
He just texted me, said it's past my bedtime.
I tell him get his ass up and Dad gonna take one for the team. Like that. He should be able to be on as soon as he comes in. I'll pop him on, and then guys, you can get your boat questions ready and all that. So
he must have been waiting for me to leave before he got on.
Oh
Yeah, tell him to
no.
log in.
Yeah, tell him to jump on. We'll come on here.
We can put 5 or 6 guys in.
Yeah, I think I if we wanted to, I think I can get up to 30.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we ain't listen. We ain't doing that. That's too much. Too many.
Hey, when the dual threat tournament was going on the other day, with no coverage, obviously some of the anglers were doing it through their YouTube feeds. So I had my own 5-box that I made from everybody's YouTube channel feeds.
There you go.
Let me ask you, what do you think? What do you think about that? The dual threat.
My son-in-law actually wanted me to fish it with him back when it was going to cost us money. So I had told him I would be 100% in. I called the owner and talked to the owner and kind of felt him out because, I didn't know who was running it. So I really would have liked to known it was going to be no entry fees beforehand.
But you would have fished it, had knowing that.
Probably. I don't know if the schedule aligns with the NPFL. I don't know if I could have taken enough time. But when that first came available, I was still waiting on an answer from Brad Fuller at the NPFL to guarantee me that I was back in the NPFL. So I knew I was going to fish something this year. And if it wasn't going to be NPFL, I was going to take my son-in-law, who's a hammer, and take him fish the dual threat.
Okay, I got you. All right, so now we got Mr. Clay Harden. I said Harden, right? I make sure I said that right. In the thing for Marina South, how you doing tonight?
Doing fine. How are y'all?
Pretty good. I'm gonna take this real quick. Take this graphic off Tony's face because we don't
I can
want to
move
hide.
over something.
No, we don't want to hide that beautiful face right there.
I don't mind not seeing Tony.
Well, listen, we let him out once or twice a week, just like that. Most time we keep him kind of like the Goonies. We got him down there in some kind of cage, and we just throw him some food.
Hey, you guys.
All right, Tony, do it one time. Come on.
Hey, you guys.
There you go. So anyway, Clay, glad you could join us. Tony mentioned about, you coming on and talking basically some, about boating and boat maintenance and stuff like that. So a lot of guys don't take care of their boats the way they should, especially for the money that they put in there. So I'm just curious, what's the number one problem you see coming into your establishment this time of year when it comes to boats? And could it have been prevented? Yes,
most of the time it could. So you get most boats now have a vapor separator on boat engines. They got a filter in the bottom, and nobody ever thinks to change that. So that's part of when you get what we call a full service, or where we do every filter on the motor, that filter gets changed. And a lot of people don't even think about doing it because it's such a hassle to get. Sometimes you got to take the intake off to get to that VST tank. So it adds a good bit of labor time to the service. But when that thing gets gunked up with, especially the ethanols. And even if you're buying non-ethanol gas, they've all got ethanol in it. They don't have non-ethanol tankers they deliver this gas in. So it's all got ethanol in it. It's all going to gum up anything it touches. It's going to turn to green, basically corn liquor, and it's sticky. And
Corn
it sticks to, everything inside your motor. But that and spark plugs, people run their spark plugs too long and they foul their spark plugs out. That's a problem. Old fuel lines, because of the ethanol, it corrodes these fuel lines and wears them out. But fuel issues is the majority of the problem we're seeing nowadays.
So I got a question. I got a question. So going back to the ethanol statement, I understand what you mean by that, but I have ran non-ethanol in my 2-stroke since I bought it. Is that something I should be doing, or am I wasting my money?
Well, back when they were making the 2-strokes all the time, especially like prior to 2010, they had a whole lot more compression than the motors do now. And in the later 2-strokes, like, when Mercury, the last year they made the Pro XS, the Optimax, it had, they really dumbed down the compression. So for you running a higher, like most of your non-ethanol grades are 89 or 90, running a higher ethanol grade, octane grade in your 2-stroke motor, that's probably not going to hurt that. But these newer 4-stroke motors are designed to run on 10% ethanol, 87 octane, 10% ethanol.
Well, I just always hear the guys in the comments where, in some of these forums talking about the water separation, vapor whatever they call it, phase separations, what they always refer to it, running ethanol fuel in an older 2-stroke. And mine's an 03 model, so an older 2-stroke. So that's one of those questions I've always run non-ethanol. It just even though my boat doesn't sit very long, I run the gas out of it, but still I always worry about gumming up.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say,
Sorry. Raise your hand.
I'm gonna say, where is Tony finding a fishing forum? I thought forums were dead.
Well, I say it's Facebook pages.
It's on the dark web. He's on the dark web.
To talk on a fishing forum.
All right, Clint, what was you?
Go ahead, Clay. Sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say, if no matter what you do, if you run ethanol, non-ethanol, 87, 89. 93. Now these newer motors cannot handle 93 octane at all. So if you got like an older, early 2000s Pro XS, anything from the 90s, they can handle the 93 octane. But no matter what you use, the blue stay bill, if you'll put an ounce per 10 gallons every time you fill up, you'll never have to worry about, if I have to park my boat for 2 months, is the fuel going to break down, or if I have to, something happens and, you never know, you may park your boat and have to have surgery, next week, and your boat's having to park for 6 weeks or 6 months.
Right.
As long as you have that blue ethanol in there, every time you fill up, you'll never have to worry about, your gas breaking down.
John.
Yeah.
Do you need to go to bed? I know you get up at 4 a.m. You sure? You look. No. Lay back down. I was being serious. Like, I didn't want you.
No, I'm fine.
He goes to bed at like 8 every night.
Yeah.
I know. I didn't want him to sit like that.
Oh, he told me. When I told him the times of the show, he's like, I'm gonna have to take a nap before the show goes on.
Okay. All right. Well, you just get comfortable.
I didn't get a nap today, so.
All right. Well, you get comfortable. So in that question I got pulled up. So in my 2022 250 Pro XS, does non-ethanol help at all? Boat never sits more than 10 days.
You're really spending money unnecessarily. That 2022 boat was designed to run, that 2022 motor was designed to run on 87, 10% ethanol. Because that's the most common gas now. It's hard to find non-ethanol. So every one of these major engine manufacturers are making the boats, the engines where they'll run on regular 87, 10% ethanol.
Look at this, cranking yanking. He loves them even more now. Kick back like he's from Louisiana right there for sure. Let's see, here was a question. I'm in Texas, and we rarely get temps below 30 since this last storm. Should I have done anything to my motors? I guess because it got really cold.
If he's never getting, to freeze an engine, and especially an outboard, if as long as you trim that thing down every time you park it in the wintertime, gravity is going to take care of the water in it, so it's never going to freeze. But it's got to be in the 20s for days in a row before to freeze and crack a motor.
Before we go any farther, Clay, where is your shop at? Where is it located? And how could somebody get in touch with you if they wanted you to look at their boat? I want to make sure we get that out there.
We have a service questionnaire you can fill out, and it comes straight to my email at marine-south.com. The phone number is 770-832-3330. And when you can message me on Facebook Messenger as well. We have a Marina South Facebook page, and I check those. They come straight to my phone. We're open Tuesday through Friday. We're in Carrollton, just north of the Cadillac dealership, if you're familiar with Carrollton on Highway 27. We're here Tuesday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon.
Okay, I wanted to make sure I got that out there because I always seem to forget. Lately, I've seen several videos about carbon buildup in outboards. Is this a real problem? If so, is it just on the 4 strokes or something we should be doing to the 2 strokes also?
All right, so people come in here all the time, and I tell them, you got carbon buildup on your cylinders on top of your piston dome, and we have to do a decarbon on the engine. And the first thing they say is, well, I haven't been rough on my motor. Well, a boat motor is designed to be rough. Like, they want to run at 5,500 plus RPMs. If you got like a Pro XS or a Yamaha Show, it wants to run at 6,000 RPMs.
I hope my wife is listening to that.
The lower RPMs you run, the dirtier the fuel burn off is. So when the fuel burn is dirty, the carbon builds up, and it does it in 2 strokes and 4 strokes. And the best way to do it is put like Yamaloo Marine Free in your gas, and for lack of a better term, just go run the piss out of it.
He's giving you permission to send it is what he's doing.
We hear that's how they're designed. They're designed to be run at 6,000 RPMs.
Well, you hear the stories of the old guy that buys the Cadillac and just cruises around town. It looks brand new, but the motor dies in it. There's a reason. He don't drive it. You got to drive it.
Yeah, you got to blow the soot out of it.
What do you think about that, Clint?
So that plays because I have an old 2-stroke. I've got a 2000 Yamaha, the old OX66, and I was always told to run the piss out of it, like on my way back to the trailer. Like every time, like the end of the day, to absolutely open her up on the way back to the ramp. And so I've been doing that. And I honestly haven't had any problems out of it, knock on wood, but it has been sitting for about 3 weeks and I'm itching. I'm like fishing out of my eyeballs. Like just can't wait to take it out. I'm going to take it out this weekend in teens weather, but good.
New rule of thumb for everyone is if you're going across the river, drive it like you stole it.
I like this guy.
Hammer down. Every time you crank that motor up, hammer down.
Well, wait a minute, guys.
It's usually the crappy fishermen that do a lot of trolling, and some of the striper guys. We see a lot of carbon buildup in those guys' boats. Crappy guys and the striper guys.
Would you do a break-in on a SEI lower unit on that?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Because I've done it, and then it blew after putting 20 hours on it. And so yes. I did the break-in process completely with the SEI, and then after 20 hours, it blew it and went out. So
sometimes they're just parts aren't all created equal. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, cool. So I'm like 8 hours into the break-in process on this new one. So
the good thing about SEI is though, if they send you a new one, you tear it up, they'll send you another new one.
Yep, that's what happened. So I'm glad.
Cranking and yanking found something to bitch about.
Oh yeah,
he did. He found some fast motors, A rigs, and live scopes.
It ain't a 40 horse. It
ain't a 40 horse like that. Now Patricia mentioned something too. Now I fish electric only, so I know those size electric outboards have been out there, but they're coming out with some bigger ones and bigger ones. They're getting there. Are you seeing more and more of that? Do you mess with those at all?
I mean, we will. The old Elco motors that have been around for a while. Mercury's got a line of E-motors out now. Occasionally we'll install one. The Minn Kota E-Drive was pretty popular for a while. Minn Kota discontinued it for whatever reason. But most of the guys I know that do the electric-only lakes will have 2, big 70-pound trolling motors on the back and then a foot control 70 or 80 on the front. But we don't see a whole lot of electric outboards.
Let me ask you this, because I've heard this before, but I don't know if it's just an old wives' tale or something like that, but somebody told me one time, if you buy a brand new trolling motor and you put it on the back of your boat to push it, it voids the warranty because they're designed to be on the front of the boat and pull it. Is that true? Or is that just somebody saying that?
I doubt it because the transom mount trolling motors are designed to go on the back to push forward.
Right.
And so
I don't know how you
don't
would put a
see
foot
that.
pedal controller on the back.
Yeah, I don't see that being a thing.
Yeah, I have heard people say that, and I'm like, oh, I mean, hell, I don't know. Let's see. How about this one right here? I think this is a question. My boat is like Granny on the interstate at takeoff because it only runs 40. Understanding the SHO wants to be ran at 6K, is it okay to commonly make 30, 40-minute runs at those RPMs?
When you're talking about 30 to 40 minute runs at mid range RPMs.
I guess so.
I think he's talking about that 6,000.
Oh yes. That's what
Oh.
they're designed to do. They're designed to run everywhere you go to get it up to 6,000 RPMs and hold it there.
So let me ask you this, Clay. I don't even think I've ever asked you this because I didn't buy my boat from you. So, but the last two shows I've had on long runs, 30 to 60 minutes at 6,000 plus RPMs, when I got to the no wake zone or when I got to an idle spot, it was chirping, just almost like a fan belt squealing, making a noise after a long run at high RPMs. And
I don't know what that would have been. Maybe it's a older belt got stretched out as it got hot on that long run.
Right.
I don't know, but
And that's the only time it does it after a long run. But
they're made, the Mercury Pro XSs and the Yamaha shows are made to be run at, the whole time you're running them at 6,000 RPM.
oh yeah, I'm not slowing down. I'm just saying it chirps a little bit.
I've seen you drive it like you stole it everywhere you go.
Right. Yes.
I could, but let me ask you this: being an owner of that, if you get a customer that comes in and he says something like that, like it only does it a certain, like you have to be on the water to experience it. How do you figure out that problem? I mean, how do you figure out what's wrong?
We load it up and take it to the water.
So you go test it out.
We'll spend an hour or two. If we need to go make a long run, we'll take it down to West Point or Weed Alley, and make a long run. Like if they tell us it only does it at the end of a 45-minute run, we'll take it down to West Point, put in it up the river somewhere, and run all the way to the dam to see if we can replicate it.
Okay. All right. That's absolutely. I like that answer. Christopher Brown wants to know if you work on Evinrude G2 motors.
We do work on Evinrude. The problem is anything made after Bombardier bottom or BRP, they're getting harder and harder and harder and harder to find parts for. Now, the 90s Johnson Evinrudes, there's parts galore for those, but anything made after 2000 when BRP bought them is almost impossible to find parts for.
Okay. Tony, you got any questions, boat questions? Because I'm in the electric world, so you guys got to ask the motor questions.
Eric in the comments, he took his boat down to Clay and they talked about trolling motor batteries and about batteries in general. Yeah. So what are some good, I don't know, for lithium batteries in a boat? We hear all the time starting batteries versus, trolling motor batteries versus electronics batteries. What's your recommendations as far as a boat setup? If you're putting batteries in a boat, like I got to go buy batteries probably this year. What's your recommendations for battery setups?
Well, if you got, so Yamaha, and I learned this the hard way, the newer Yamaha, they've redesigned the alternator and it can run a 150 amp hour cranking lithium battery. Prior to 21, I think it was, when they redesigned that alternator, like my Skeeter's a 2018. That alternator cannot handle a 150 amp hour lithium battery. I have to crank with lead. Right. I had a lithium battery on it, and I could be running 65 miles an hour, and it just go dead. Pull it up in neutral, fire it off, and take it right back off like nothing ever happened. So it depends on which series on a Yamaha. We've had no issues cranking Mercuries with lithium, but Mercury will tell you they recommend cranking with lead.
Yamaha does too.
Right.
We still
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
all our pros to use lead over lithium on the or
Yes.
like a lead acid or AGM.
Ain't that what Trent said when he was on? Ain't
Yeah,
that was
that's
his
what
recommendation?
directly from Yamaha. We tell all of our pros to run that. It's technically
We
still
have
not.
found that new generation of alternator on the shows can handle the lithium.
They definitely
That's
can. I think we just to cover our ass. I think that's why we say that. But I think they
Right.
definitely can. But
right. But now the generation before could not handle it.
mhm.
I've heard that, and I don't even have one of them like that. Hey, John, what was you talking about at the beginning before the show about the lithium?
Yep.
What was that, Tony? You remember what was it?
I was
you were
gonna say
talking about?
it's about what's sitting over Clay's shoulder there.
If you look right over Clay's right shoulder there,
Yeah, there you go.
that's a company we partnered with that has developed a chemistry project that will extinguish a lithium battery fire, which I'm told, I've never seen one or had one, but I'm told, and I've been studying up, is extremely hard to do. Put one of those out. We've had some boats over the years, and you can see them on YouTube. But not only boats, that just lithium batteries are everywhere now. So fire departments and municipalities and car dealer or car manufacturers, this is starting to be a big concern with these lithium batteries catching on fire and not being able to be extinguished by normal measures. So Clay can tell you more about that.
That's what I was going to ask Clay. Can you tell us like the real like smart stuff on it? Like the chemistry and all that?
I dumbed it down for the normal folks.
And is that something you keep in the boat or the truck, or where would you keep something like that?
Yeah. So this is my shop model. This hangs on the wall in the shop. So if we have, and let me say something about lithium batteries. They're not all created equal either. You can find these lithium batteries on the TikTok shop and on Amazon and on Temu and some of these other places, and
that's right.
I could see Tony with some Temu batteries in his boat.
Hey, good.
I got a Power Queen. I ain't gonna lie.
You can find it on his TikTok shop.
They will ignite just by charging them. On the other hand, if you get one of the higher end, batteries such as the Ionic, which I'm an Ionic dealer, it's very hard to get them to ignite. And the company that developed this stuff, Ionic donated, gave them a pallet full of batteries and told them to ignite it and practice putting them out just to make sure the stuff works. And they were having trouble getting them to detonate, getting to ignite, because they're such a quality battery. They ordered some off of TikTok shop that were like $150, and they had no issues getting them things to ignite. And wow. if you go on their website, SCLX, there's several videos of them actually putting out lithium fires. And there's one, John may have it on his social media, but they try to put it out with a just standard fire extinguisher like we have in our boats now, and it makes it worse. And then they come in behind it with the SCLX fire extinguisher and puts it out immediately.
Well, what's the difference?
This is don't get me the line about the compound makeup. John, the two guys that came up with it were in my office today.
Right.
And they were John.
They could have been trying to teach me how to speak French for all I understood. They definitely sounded like some smart guys. They didn't look smart, but they sounded real smart.
I understand. It's over my head for sure. But now
they look like me and Clay, but they started throwing out some chemistry stuff that lost me. So I'm going to leave that to the professionals to break down what's in it.
It's FCLX. That's the name of the company?
Yes.
Do you sell that? I mean, is this something you sell in your shop, or how can somebody get
these? Are brand new. Like I said, this is my shop model that hangs on the wall out in my shop. But next week, I should have the 1 liter and 2 liter sizes, which is about the same size as what we tote in our boats now. But you'll have to carry that in addition to a regular Coast Guard approved fire extinguisher.
That was my next question. Yeah, so you can't.
Now,
you can't
this stuff will put out a regular fire, like any other kind of fire, electrical fire or debris fire. It'll put anything out, but you have to, according to the Coast Guard, you have to have both. If you can't just have this one, you have to have.
So what would that cost in a 1 or 2 liter? Like something we would be putting in our boats.
The 1 liter is probably what I'm going to recommend for a boat. It's on my first order, I got 30 of those and only got 10 of the 2 liters. It's going to be around $70 is going to be the price point.
Okay, that's
if
way lower than I was thinking. I was thinking 700. So
if you got a $100,000 bass boat with $30,000 worth of content,
worth the $70
$70 is not a whole lot to spend.
I got more than that in one of the tackle boxes, right?
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
That makes sense for sure. Because I mean, you even see guys burning their house down when one of those just Ryobi batteries is on a charge, or one of them little bitty lithiums like that catches on fire. Much less be out in the middle of a lake in a lithium. So that's a smart move. That's worth the money if you ask me.
I agree,
For
and
sure.
John does too. That's why he's so. I've never seen him get so passionate about a single product as he has this thing, and that's all I hear is, when are you gonna get my fire extinguisher?
To me, it's a no-brainer if somebody's going to go spend $100,000 on a boat, and something crazy happened like that. You can't. There's no good alternative to that fire extinguisher.
Right.
Can I let you know something else?
Even if you drive it to shore and call the fire department, most of them aren't equipped to put it out. So
and a lithium fire will melt your boat before you. A lithium fire will melt your boat before you know what happened.
I know when I was in public service, the rule of thumb with lithiums when they first came out was we let it burn, until it's out.
There was nothing to put them out.
There's no trying to put. It was unsafe to even try to put them out.
So the 2 guys that were in my office today that was giving John a chemistry lesson, they are working on a suppression system that will actually install in the boat and will pipe directly into the cap on the lithium battery. And it has a solenoid system with a temp sensor. And as soon as it hits 155 degrees, it automatically kicks on and floods the affected battery with this stuff that's inside this fire extinguisher. So it's automatic.
Hot damn.
That's pretty cool.
And that'll be on my boat soon.
I'd like to see that when you get it on there.
Listen, sure. I've got people texting me asking, can I get a 1 liter from Clay when he gets them?
That's what I'm saying. Like Eric put that there, and I'm going to say we work with an affiliate here.
So where are you at scaling this? So you got 30 units coming in, but where are you at with trying to get it to where it's more available for guys like us?
Well, I'm not going to be the only one carrying them. I'm the only one carrying them right now. Okay. They are looking for other dealers in the region. At some point, it's going to be nationwide, and at some point, I feel like states are going to make it a law to have a lithium fire extinguisher in your boat if you're going to have lithium batteries.
Yeah, so that
we were just talking about getting with the DNR and stuff today, so it's coming.
And Clay, I got some contact. I work with Yamaha outboards, and so like that's something I feel like our guys would love to give to our anglers, or like potentially buy for our anglers, maybe even as a gift or something for the season. So like definitely I'll get your contact info later, because that could be a cool way to start promoting, having our anglers running them on the Elite Series and things like that.
At some point, we're talking about going to these the Elite Series tournaments, the NPFL tournaments, and the MLF tournaments, and selling, setting up a trailer and selling these in the, on practice day.
That'd be awesome.
To get them to the anglers that hadn't heard about them.
It's a hell of a product, and it makes sense. Awesome. Like, I mean, honestly, it's
I think
no-brainer.
In that parking lot, $70. This will be like, I think you'd have half of them buy it on the spot right there.
That's why I was able to get so excited about this product, just because, I mean, fishing industry is a small industry, but we're all friends and family, and I would hate to see anyone, even my competitors, lose their boat out there and can't do anything about it.
Well, if a guy's going to fuss about $70 for something that can do that, he's the same guy that's going to drop 90 on a swim bait or something like that. Yeah, I mean, so that to me,
and it's like I spent $400 to put a leash on the back of my boat for safety.
Right.
So it's if I'm going to spend the money on that, I mean, what's $70 to keep my investment from sinking?
And you know what, we put those on, and guys say, I don't think they work like they say they're going to. And then the first time they see a motor rip off the back of the boat and land in somebody's lap, running across the lake, then they're in here the next Tuesday saying, hey, put one of them leashes on my motor.
Yeah. Why don't you have 20 in stock?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So Dane wants
I was
one
at
for his boat and
Champlain
one
when
for his car.
Wes Logan had his incident up there, and that was eerie, man. That'll put sick to your stomach seeing something like that. And that was
He
another
sold a lot of
Think
leaks
about
that day.
things.
yeah.
I tell you what, listen, I appreciate you talking about that on the show, though. That's something that we always want our viewers to. We always end the show like, you guys be safe out there. You know, we go through the whole gamut of that, life jacket, whatever. But still, I mean, this is a product that actually makes sense for
Right.
sure.
Well, we don't, you know, we've got a sponsor on here, Sonar Pros, you know, having Clay on. There's a lot of guys that go out and get in their boat and work on it DIY stuff, and they tape something together, they wire nut something together, whatever they do that's really crappy way of installing stuff. It two wires touching make heat, and it doesn't take long for something to catch fire. So the fact that you got all that sitting in the back of that boat on top of how many pounds of dynamite under your seat in the back and gasoline, it's a no-brainer to have something safety-wise when it comes to a fire extinguisher.
Then you got you some oxygen.
People don't realize how volatile lithium is.
Yeah. I mean, you're literally riding on a rocket ship if it ever were to truly do what it's capable of.
There's a reason you can't put them in a check bag.
Right.
You know,
100%. And like I said, I fished electric only, and Zachary's right. Even the electric tournament with the lithium batteries will benefit from that extinguisher.
And if you've ever had a battery run away on you, and I have a big 48-volt battery in the Marine Corps, trust me, it's not the fun you think it is when it starts to run off.
I got you. So I think that's a fantastic product. So I'm glad you mentioned it, John, and we got to talk about that tonight. I don't think you're gonna have any problems selling them, for sure.
Oh yeah, we never were when we first started talking about bringing these in, and the guy that kind of created this, and it's a long story, and that's his story to tell, not mine. But he came to me first, and we've been trying to get these, you know, finding the right size that people are comfortable putting in their boat. And we'll even have the little straps that you can mount, you know, inside your compartment to strap it in. So you don't just have to ride around like, you know, John just wraps his up in a towel and throws it in whatever locker he can fit it in.
I can.
You don't have to do it that way.
Yeah, I can.
They will have a holder that comes with them, and we settled on that 1 liter as being, you know, probably the right size for a bass boat. A big offshore boat may want a 2 or 3 liter, but as far as the bass guys, you know, if you got lithium batteries, I would recommend putting a 1 liter in your boat for sure.
And it operates just like a regular fire extinguisher.
Nothing different. Pull the pin, pull the trigger.
Still has an expiration date, and all that stuff on it as well. Okay. And
just like our regular fire extinguishers now, the small ones they won't be serviceable. So whenever it expires, you just chunk it and get another one.
Well, how long does it last? Or what's the
3 days, John?
3 days?
I like the price point so much. I just figured we'd throw that in.
Wanted a 5-year shelf life on
them? Something like that.
Hot damn, for $70?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I mean,
it's worth it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's got a good shelf life.
That's a no-brainer. All right, I'm glad we talked about that. Now let's get back to another boat motor question. If a steady stream of water is coming out of your engine, is changing the impeller necessary even at the 300-hour service interval?
Absolutely, especially if it's under warranty. Because if something happens to that motor, the manufacturer's going to see your service records and make sure you had that impeller changed at 300 hours. What we recommend is that first one, 300 hours or 3 years. Now they do specify that 300 hours or 3 years, whichever comes first. After that, I like to do every 2-year service maintenance, change the oil every year, and a full service every other year.
Okay. Crankin' and Yankin says, my Humminbird Piranha Max 4 ain't starting no fires. That's because you run that damn thing on a D battery. I'm just playing with you, cranking and yanking like that.
It doesn't work on your tongue, cranking.
It don't work.
Yeah.
John, this is from Jonathan Williams. He says, good luck this year, John Cox fishing. I will be watching, and that's good. Sir. A lot of us will. Anytime you come on the show, you become part of the family, and we start paying a lot more attention to you. We do. I mean, it's just the way it is. Your family now.
I'm glad somebody will be watching.
We'll be watching. I get your number. I'll be texting you, telling you what you should do. No, I'm not me. I'm just playing. If I have a SmartCraft gauge for my Mercury already, but finally got the full digital one, will it plug and play or use the new wires that came with it?
Well, it depends. They changed the harnesses on those things at some point, so it depends on when the original SmartCraft gauge was put in. But I would probably go ahead and put those new wires in, because riding on the back of that motor and going through the gunnel of that boat, they got some wear and tear on them. So I'd go ahead and swap them out.
Okay, back to the FCL X. Does cold weather affect it?
No. So this was the first run, like when they first came out. It did not have the antifreeze in it. Now they have found an antifreeze that does not affect the fire retardant properties of the chemical. So the new ones and the ones that I'll have here for the boats do have antifreeze in them. And I even got them to come get the one out of my shop. They're supposed to be coming to get it this week.
Yeah, they didn't tell him would freeze after it was 12 degrees last
night. Right. I mean, my water's frozen. Why shouldn't my fire extinguisher freeze? But
damn, don't you know a plumber?
Well, he came by twice today.
I'll tell you, like I told him, plumbers don't get paid to thaw out pipes.
There you
Call me when it breaks.
Hey, Danny, Blakely Basson has asked that question, I think, 3 times. Most common problems out of a 1998 Johnson Venom 200.
Thank you, Tony.
No problem.
That would be most common problem. Those would be those plastic float bowls on the carburetors. Heat up and cool down, heat up and cool down. They warp and they start leaking, and they will not seal back up. So you got to replace the float bowls.
Okay,
there you go.
Appreciate you doing that. I get the lithium.
Oh no, I just popped up again.
Just got in for the live. Where can I get the lithium fire extinguisher? You need to call Marina South. Is that the
we
best
will have
way?
them? Should have the first shipment in next week.
There you go. And we're working on a 30% commission here at the live well tonight. So the more you guys buy, just type in FNGO. Tell them FNGO. You get 30%
I will
off.
forward that on to SDLX.
Yeah, I'm kidding. Somebody will call you up and say, hey, that guy said we get a discount. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, that 30% is going to John to pay for entry fees.
There you go. Let's do our part. And Cranking Yankee says he's actually got that Piranha as a wind up. So that makes sense down there. What's the best charger for a lithium battery?
I'm a power pole charge guy.
Okay.
It's very versatile. We have found, it happened to John, it happened to me, but a 36 volt system, for some reason with the power pole charge, that middle battery sometimes don't want to catch up with the rest of them when you charge it. And it happened to me back during the summer. My middle battery went to 0. I could not wake it up. I tried everything I could think of. Finally had to send it back to Onyx, and Onyx said it was the power pole charge was leaving that middle battery behind. We called power pole, and they confirmed it, that for what they're trying to figure out a fix for it, but it's that middle battery. If you don't keep it on the charger, and I'm bad about sticking mine. I have a back building back here, and I'm bad about sticking mine, my boat back here and just forgetting about it for a couple of weeks, because I have a partner. My partner has a boat, and every other tournament we fish out of his, so I may go 3 or 4 weeks without cranking my, using my boat. And so the more you charge it with that power pole charge, the better the batteries will last, because it has it's a smart charger. So it'll go down to like a half amp or 1 amp trickle charge. The Minn Kota precision chargers are really good. And then Onyx makes one, they make a 2, 3, 4 bank chargers for their batteries that are really good lithium chargers. And then of course, I'm a big fan of the 16 volt forward facing battery. If you're going to use forward facing sonar, I want the clearest picture. That 16 volt battery from Onyx gives you the best clarity. And it comes with its own 16 volt charger from Onyx. So as far as the trolling and cranking batteries, that power pole charge it's a pretty cool setup. You can charge your lead cranking battery on one side, and you can charge your lithium trolling batteries on the other side. So for me, that's the best charger on the market right now. And John can give you a testimony about power pole charge too.
Is he awake?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give him a hard time. Take it easy there, bro. I didn't mean to wake up.
So I don't remember how everything went down, but the first time I got a power pole charge was in a FXR, but when Skeeter made the switch to Hummingbird, they linked everything to Hummingbird, so you could no longer get I'm kind of a lazy shopper. I just want whatever's on the showroom floor. So I don't order a specific boat. So every year the Skeeter deals are always a package deal. So when they started going to Raptors, they did away with the come on, what's it called? The Power Pole Charge. Right. So then that same year, I had gone to 4 Graphs and was running forward facing sonar and just fought hell trying to, batteries were dying by lunch.
I think it happened to you and I the first time we fished together.
It might have. That might have been back when that was going on.
Yep.
And I immediately went back to the Power Pole Charge and never had any issues again. Just that the capability of charging itself when it's running just makes all the difference in the world to me.
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to get you to talk about when yours went out.
My Power Pole Charge, or
7 years old.
So, the service, yeah.
Yes.
7 years old. So I took it off of one boat and put it on another new boat because I couldn't get one from Skeeter. So every time I upped a boat, I kept the same charger. And then the last time I had an issue with it, it was the year 2023 or 2024. I was still trying to get my forward-facing sonar to work, and we decided the Power Pole Charge might have been an issue with some of the wiring or whatever. So we sent it to Florida to get it checked out, and they didn't even rebuild it. They just sent me a new one. So
7 years old. They sent him a brand new one.
Yeah, I've had one Power Pole Charge I had it for 7 years, and now I've had this one for 2. So it's just the service is undeniable.
I was gonna say that was when we were fishing together. Was when that one went bad. When the Power Pole Charge went bad because we were on the lake at that veterans tournament. And that would have been 2022-ish.
Oh, okay.
So that would have been about the time it started going bad, I think.
Now he keeps talking about the issues with his forward-facing sonar. That turned out it wasn't an electrical issue. It wasn't a wiring issue. It was a hummingbird issue. The sonar itself was a bad sonar.
Right.
Okay.
And I think hummingbird, they finally acknowledged that it was bad and sent a brand new one, and that's when he sold it. So
Okay.
all the issues he had, it was in the actual transducer itself.
And just so you know, if you didn't watch my hour, I never said your name in there. I blame you for the issues.
I got a question. This is for me. A lot of guys in the electric only world they'll run 4 lead acid batteries or whatever in series to run one of these 48-volt Elcos or something like that. We've heard from others that you need to kind of, I guess, stagger your batteries every so often. So if you got them all in a row, every so often you take the battery on this end and you take it to the other end and kind of slide them down, always kind of rotating. Is that true?
Slide them down, put that one on this end.
And so that is something that needs to be done. And
Yes.
that'll help your battery life.
I even do it on my trolling batteries. And like when John brings his boat in to get his next oil change, we'll do that on his. We'll take the one on the far right, put it to the far left, and slide everything over.
Okay. All right, good. I'm glad.
Now that I'm on lithiums, I can lift them up and do that.
Yeah.
That
Makes a big difference.
He won't. He said you could, but you won't.
Hey, what were we talking about? Guys doing DIY stuff?
Yep.
Right.
They do the same thing with plumbing. I know if you don't do something for a living, or if somebody does something for a living, there's a reason for it. And I don't work. People ask me all the time how I rigged this and how I rigged that. I don't rig nothing. You don't want a plumber rigging your boat.
Yeah. You know, I don't put faucets in my house, John.
Right. Now, if I'm going to put a toilet and a faucet on my boat, I'll rig that. But
John puts the faucets in my house, and I put everything else in his boat. So
hey, listen,
leave it to that.
You got to. Well, I did heat and air for 25 years before I got into this, so I know exactly what you're talking about. You wouldn't believe some of the things you walk in and see somebody's just trying to rig something up. And it's oftentimes with like a dryer vent or something that could catch your house on fire.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Just something like
you wouldn't
that.
believe. I got a album on my phone, and I don't know where I'm gonna publish them at, but I'm gonna publish them one day of customers that brought their boats in here that they tried to wire themselves, and there's, you know, that single strand house
Speaker
copper wire, and with wire nuts on it that they got their grasp, you know, tied to it with wire nuts, and it makes my skin crawl when I see it. And I tell them you're lucky you hadn't done melted something in this boat or burned this boat down.
Well, now you can just sell them an extinguisher.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. So hey, your wiring looks good, but you might want to invest in this extinguisher down the road right there. How many times you ever seen a guy bring in, like, he took a drop cord and just cut the ends off a drop cord and run it through his boat and use that?
I had a guy that we had a boat in here not too long ago. The guy had taken a household light switch and put it on his bilge pump.
Tony, was that you?
This is
like some Marine Corps engineer in there.
It's Tony. It's the how-to. He used to be the how-to guy.
Listen,
I've got that. I was amazed. It was. I just kept flipping it on and off. It worked.
I've got a background in Marine Corps avionics. I am not wired it with household stuff. I promise you that.
I've seen some good stuff. Okay, we'll give you one more couple more questions because I know you guys get up early real quick. So what do you guys feel about the NOCO chargers?
No, we use our jump boxes that we keep in the shop or NOCO, and if somebody is looking for just a basic all-around good battery charger, we do sell a lot of NOCO battery chargers.
Okay, all right, fair enough. And then Blakely, he wanted to know what's your thoughts on the VRO pumps?
And that goes back to that 98.
Yeah, I've seen guys coming here with all kind of, like, especially on like the Fast Strikes and the Venoms, those V6 Johnsons. They try all kind of things to keep from having to buy another VRO pump, because that thing's like $1,000, and it's your oil pump and your fuel pump all in one contraption. And then they try to bypass it by using this double stack, old school looking, diamond shaped fuel pump, and then mix their own oil. It never works. It's never going to run right. So if you got a Johnson, those old 90s Johnsons with the VRO, and the VRO goes out, spend the money and put another VRO back on it, because that's how that system was designed to run, and that's how it's going to run. It's most efficient is with that VRO pump.
Okay, fair enough. Clint, you got anything before I let these gentlemen go?
I do. I have so I've got that old Skeeter with a 25-year-old two-stroke on the back of it, and I've considered repowering. So it's a ZX202. It's rated for a 225. It's going to put a Yamaha show on it. Would you go a 200, a 225, or a 250?
I would go for whatever it's rated for.
Okay.
And you can get away.
And would you do the chip? And if you want to tell me later, that's fine too.
I would rather give you my opinion on that. Just
That's
between
fine.
me and you.
That's fine.
But I have put bigger motors than what it was called for. But I have the customer sign a waiver saying that I've requested this. But to me, it's a little ridiculous to have that 225 stamp on there, because the 250, the 225, and the 200, it's the same motor.
It's the same exact thing.
And they use the ECM and program that ECM different to make fuel flow rate and to make it more horsepower. So if it's rated for a 200, then you should be able to put a 250 on it, because they weigh the same thing. And that rating is all about weight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Got nothing to do with speed.
How does that change? Like, so that's a 26-year-old rating. So how does that change with these new motors and their new sizes and weights and all that stuff?
Well, that 225 probably weighs about what a 250 weighs.
I think it's within 40 pounds of what a new.
Yeah, it's not a whole lot. So if your transom's still in good shape, there's no reason it wouldn't hold that 250. But to stay in, complete compliance with with that Coast Guard sticker, you need to go with a 225.
Gotcha.
But at the same time, I wouldn't put a 200 on it. I would put whatever the maximum rating for that boat is.
For sure.
Just sign the waiver, Clint. Put the 250 on there. That's what you're gonna do anyway, ain't it?
Nah, I'll probably go 225.
Okay.
I'll probably go 225.
Fair enough.
Put
Tony,
a 300R on it. Go with the Mercury 300R.
I'd rather have my motor run for longer than a year.
Oh, listen, good Lord. We got to cut Clint off before he starts. I'm just kidding. Tony, you got anything?
Yeah, I'll go. I'm gonna go right along with that. I run a 91 Ranger. Is it worth repowering? Is it? I mean, I've got a good platform. Is it worth repowering or just spend the money on a boat?
If the boat's in good shape and you like the boat, you like fishing out of the boat, then it's worth repowering. If you're going to try to repower it and sell it, you're never going to get your money back out of it. But if you're going to repower it and fish out of it another 10 or 15 years, then it's worth every penny of it.
That's where I'm at. Like I have the platform. It's like I fish off that boat no different than I would a brand new Skeeter. Right. So for me, if I replace the motor, then it's endless.
We got guys that are on their third motor on their boat. That they just like the boat, don't want to change anything up, don't want to move their trolling motor graphs around. They like it just like it is. They run a motor till it's done, and then they'll put another motor on it. That happens. I mean, we do repowers all the time.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Well, there you go. All right. So, guys, listen, first of all, Clay, thank you for jumping on here second half. I learned a lot. I mean, I really did. I was sitting here listening to everything you guys were saying, and you guys in the comment section had some great questions right there. So thank you. It's Marina South, right? Marina South down in Carrollton, and is that the extinguisher is the FCLX. All right. So if you guys are interested in that, you can contact him. And then Mr. John, hey, listen. Glad I got to meet you tonight. First time I've ever talked to you. I really did enjoy it. And, you got a hell of a story, dude. I mean, and we're very glad that you were able to come back after what you went through and to be able to fish competitive and all that. I know you love doing it and everything. So thank you very much for spending some time with us tonight. It was a great conversation, and Tony told me it would be. So thank you very much. So you guys follow John.
I missed the first hour, but he didn't tell you this, but we were standing out in front of Walmart asking people their blood type and if they were willing to donate a kidney. Like we weren't ready to get rid of it.
Well, listen,
I did post it on Facebook several times.
Did you really? Well, I'm so glad. And again, it's End the Wait. And I got End the Wait. I've got the link in the description, and that's one of those that's trying to help. Again, what was 100,000 people like every month or in the United States right now needs a kidney transplant. So if you can go out there and support them, I'm sure they got a link on the website that you can support them or whatever it is. But anyway, again, guys, thank you very much for joining us. Guys in the comment section, thank you for joining us again. I'll be back tomorrow at 12. We're probably going to talk about John behind his back during the lunch break right there.
My favorite thing to do.
Yeah, so I mean, that's all we do here. My wife says I don't have a job. I just talk for a living. So that's what we do. But again, thank you both for coming, guys out there in the comment section. Thank you for showing up, and we'll be back tomorrow. And then Thursday night we'll have another one. Clint, Tony. Hey, Tony, thank you very much. Good guest tonight.
Yes, this was awesome. Yep. Thank you guys for your time. We appreciate it.
All right. So anyway, you guys be good. Hey, if we don't talk to you and you're going to fish this weekend, like I said, be safe. You get out on the water. You got a lithium battery.